Welcome, amazed and amazing viewers. Welcome back. Oh, we've got some sort of light beaming in there. Well, Omarosa's doing the circuit, and we all knew she was a scheming, scamming narcissist. But in the bizarre world we now inhabit, that appears to be a good thing. Who better than to bring down the other one? So I'm growing to embrace Omarosa. So I'm going to do a little update on her. And I've also been asked about whether Kellyanne Conway or Sarah Huckabee, what's her name? Sarah Huckabee Sanders will be charged with anything. So we'll have a look at that. But also, as my very onto it viewers have pointed out, Maria Bettina, lest we forget Maria, somehow has been transferred to the same prison complex as Paul Manafort. Obviously not the same one, because there'll be male prisons and female prisons. First of all, is that right? Can someone let me know? Really, truly. And also, the other revelation was when she was indicted, Maria Bettina, it had US Citizen 2. And it turns out US Citizen 2 is somebody whose daughter worked for Dana Rohrabacher, a GOP operative who was opposed to the Magnitsky Act and is very pro-Russian. So all this stuff is kind of circulating around that. But it's too complicated for right now. But do let me know if Maria has been moved to the same prison as Manafort. Truly weird or what? Okay, well, this should be fun. Omarosa appears she has many recordings. Let's see what's going to happen. Personally, no matter what's on the recordings, Trump has such a strange effect on people. I don't think any one of the recordings will bring them down, or even a combination will bring him down as such. But it's sure as hell going to play with the minds of some of the supporters, you'd have to think. I really hope so. So let's have a look, an update on Omarosa. Omarosa, Omarosa, she's got the goods. Omarosa. She's far more useful out of the White House than she ever was in, you'd have to say, viewers. You know. So tell me about Omarosa. I'm just going to do a 5-carder. I'm using the French cards for these. All right, in the middle, let's see how these cards shape up, shall we, viewers? The 5 of fire, 5 of wands. So look at that, fighting to the death. She is in for some serious scrapping. Her particular profile, you know, there's endless stuff out there about what motivates Omarosa, but you'd have to think she's in it for a firefight. Okay, go girl. Behind her, the 9 of Gardens. This was Omarosa at her peak of her peculiar powers, in the sense that this represents a more earthy energy of when she was building her career, when she was cultivating her persona that was, on the one hand, a beautifully groomed, successful African-American woman, and on the other hand, an absolute scary virago in apprentice mode and so forth. But this was her putting on her finery, right? Underneath the 10 of gardens, this is also, remember, these are different suits. So the gardens are pentacles, the 10 of pentacles, this is about money. Do not consider it's about anything else, viewers. I mean, I think she's motivated by righteousness, her own sense of righteousness. She's been done wrong and she wants to put the record straight. But at the end of the day, it began with money and it ends with money, and it's about money, and money is what rocks her world. So her identity is tied up with the money as well. So that's underneath her. What do we have on top of her? The Six of Wands or the Six of Swords swooping down. She's like a dive bomber in that case. She is coming from the heavens and dive bombing Trump. Trump, many people are now saying he is absolutely spinning. We know this, and from his patterns in the past, when he was about to go bankrupt each time, you know, he'd have a spin and become super aggressive. Nothing to think things have changed. He will become more aggressive as the next weeks and months play out, but she's going to dive bomb him without mercy. Whoa. She's going to come out of this better than I thought. When I read on her originally, she is going to take flack and criticism. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And she is not going to be remembered altogether kindly in the historic record. But nonetheless, she's going to come out with more courage and dignity. This is the Queen of Gardens or the Queen of Pentacles. This can be a very greedy woman. Quelle surprise. But she will come out with more dignity perhaps than she went in. So she's got nothing to lose, you'd have to say, for Omarosa. So yeah, she'll get criticism. She won't care about it. She loves publicity. That's what rocks her boat. She'll get plenty of that in the short term. Then the Trump stuff is like a tsunami. The next wave will come. But because she's got so many recordings, they'll continue to leach out. As we know, in Washington, if you're a party to the conversation, you can record it, which is obviously what she's done on a lot of cases. But we'll see if there are legal repercussions for her over recording Kelly and some of the others in the Situation Room and so forth. So we're not done with Omarosa. But look, you know, that old adage, your enemy's enemy is your friend. Suddenly, Omarosa's looking like one of the good guys. All right, now, Kellyanne Conway and Sarah Huckabee. Okay, I read on both of them a long time ago, well, probably the beginning of the year, which seems like 10 years ago. And I did a series called Women Who Lie for Trump. So let's revisit that. We'll do Kellyanne first because she's sort of, well, she's there, but she's not there, isn't she, really? Let's see what's happening. Tell me about Kellyanne Conway. Kellyanne Conway. Will there be any legals for Kellyanne Conway? Oh, she gets the 5 of Fire too. Oh, goodness me. Okay, Kellyanne. She gets, as her signifier, the Queen of Winds or the Queen of Swords. This is someone who's very quick on their feet mentally. This is her forte. You know, she who invented alternative facts. She's very agile intellectually. She's just choosing to use that mental capacity to serve the heart of darkness. The dinner table must be interesting with the husband, who obviously doesn't like Trump. I thought they were getting divorced or had been divorced. Maybe, maybe not. Please let me know, viewers. In any event, very sharp. You wouldn't want to come up against her. Right? So she can sort of hide behind that. I'm on prescription drugs and just smiling a lot. Look, don't be fooled. She's sharp as a whip. Okay. Behind her, the Hierophant or the system, government, law and order. The question was whether she's likely to face any legal sort of challenges. It's possible. You'd have to say with the Hierophant card, it is possible. Underneath, Nine of Fire, Nine of Wands. This is also not fun. This is not a fun card, right? This is more being embattled. She's not taking to the public stage as much as she did in the early stage. Then she went into complete hibernation. Now she's out a bit more, but she's battling. This is a gladiatorial battle. There's a lot of battle stuff going on for her because she, like Omarosa, gets the Five of Fire. Her career hinges on this. She has put herself in bed with Trump. I don't think she ever believed it. She's different from Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who we'll get to in a moment. She didn't believe it. She was prepared to do it. She is the ultimate mercenary. But Five of Fire, conflict, irky perk. Her outcome, not so bad, though. I think she's going to come out of it because she gets the Ten of Tides or the Ten of Cups. When the cycle completes, after this storm sort of passes, I think she'll be all right in herself because she doesn't believe it. She's not going to be devastated if Trump gets taken out of office or whatever. She would just put herself back in the marketplace. Whether she got picked up or not is another thing. But she actually doesn't care about him. She's not as invested as some of the others. She's just looking out for number one. She did it for the money, and she's obviously hanging in for her own reasons against all advice. So I think there might be a bit of a legal challenge to Kellyanne, but I don't think it's going to end up, apart from being a bit expensive, I don't think it's going to end up as a personal disaster for her. Right. So she's married to a lawyer. She might get a discount on her legal fees. So that's what I'm saying for her. Bit of a legal case, not the biggest in the world. She'll come out of it. Okay. Now, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I've read on Sarah Huckabee Sanders twice before, and this one will be interesting for me personally to see. In the very first one I did for her, it was a reading that said two things, really. It threw light for me on what her motivation is. She didn't trust Trump from the beginning, didn't like him, but wanted to push that right-wing Christian agenda. She was one of those. So she thought, bigger than the man, look, bigger than the man. He's rude and disrespectful, as she would see it, but the agenda's more important, so I'm going to fight for the agenda. The other thing the original reading said was she would stay till the bitter end and go down with the ship. Right. Now, she's hung in, God knows. Then the reading I did more recently about whether she'd pack her bags, it was ambivalent in the sense that she had an opportunity then, this was a couple of months ago, to bail again and didn't take it. And we'll see what it's saying now. Sarah Huckabee Sanders. What's happening for Sarah? Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I'll just do a general and then the legal for her. Oh, she got the 10 of Tides, same as Kellyanne. Oh, I think we might have the answer to the legal question in this. We'll see. Okay. 10 of Tides. Okay, 10 of Cups. Now the cups are emotion, so full. This is emotionally immensely taxing for her. It must be taking its toll, you would have to say, on her emotionally. But she has enormous persistence. This has been demonstrated. If nothing else, she has persistence. To be able to compromise to the extent she does and tie herself in the knots she does every day and come out like a snarling bulldog and condemn everyone else, well, she's taken obstruction to an art form, really, hasn't she? You know, she's reinvented the idea of blocking. She's the ultimate blocker, but emotionally, it's a bit of a whirlwind inside Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Behind her, the priestess. This is everything in her on a deep female level, as a mother level, as a woman that has told her this is not good, beware, get out. She has pushed that down, and so that the other interpretations of the priestess or the high priestess, hidden agendas. So she's still hoping, I think, from this, that the Republicans are going to get their wish. The idea was that Trump would come in and eventually something would happen to Trump and they'd get Pence, who's their desired candidate. You know, Mr. Robot Christian. She's still hoping for that. That is her true agenda. So in relation to the outside world, it's a hidden agenda. It's not hidden to anyone who follows these stories for a minute. Okay, underneath Queen of Wands, this is what gives her her energy to turn up each day. To actually put on those pearls and stand behind the podium and lie her tits off when you don't believe it. That is where she gets that from. And the fire energy being the bigger Christian story. These people call themselves Christians. They've got no idea. They wouldn't recognise Christianity if it bit them on the ass. 2 of Gardens, 2 of Pentacles. Juggling. Yes, she's juggling her guilt. She's juggling her tarnished conscience. She's juggling her very own values every day to sell her soul to the devil. what can I say, Sarah? Now, then she gets the 9 of Wands, or the 9 of Swords, isn't good, can be jail. I am not saying she's going to jail, but what it says in relation to the legal stuff is she could have legal complications, and she's left just covering the basics. So let's go out a couple of cards for Sarah. Yeah, she still has hope, poor thing. She still has hope that the Republicans will win through with their agenda. She still thinks that. Poor deluded creature. Will she keep her job? Oh, God. Then she gets temperance or negotiations. I was just muttering then as I pulled that card, will she keep her job? I think there'll be negotiations over that job. You know, her problem is this. She's loyal to a fault, but her master isn't, and we know that the evil Roger Ailes from Fox News, I think it's Roger Ailes, has described her as low energy. She could have done all this and still be sacked for being low energy, you know, sometime in the fall after this debacle of summer unfolds. She's not really protected. I don't have a good feeling about this for Sarah. Oh, the Tower. That's what I was thinking. She has this naive hope. Naive hope. Temperance, she's trying to be reasonable and present a reasonable point of view when there is no reasonable point of view in the White House, in the West Wing. So then she gets the Tower. I think she could lose it all. Oh dear. Well, be careful who you lie for, Sarah. It's my advice. Auntie Lena says, careful who you lie for. All right, love you all. Keep up those comments. So much happening. Bye.